Son, why you turn my light?
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
Are growing out, and the only way the roots grow out every single day, and they grow stronger and they grow better, is if that we all water.
What? Well, I'm out, man.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another all-new edition of Chip and Drip here on the AAT Sports Network. I am Chip at Chip for the Birds. That's JD from the D Drippy Network, and we are joined tonight by the brilliant, the hilarious, the passionate, real Prince Blue. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
What is up? Brilliant, and that's one way to describe me as brilliant and passionate. I'm happy to be here, man, with Chip and Drip. More so Chip than Drip, because I see him every day. We text every day. He's like an extended brothers, and it's like I roll my eyes when I get, what do you think it is? The dude is always creating something.
What y'all want me to do? What y'all want me to do, B? Like I'm here for you. I'm happy to see you, Prince. You know what I'm saying? I almost died yesterday, so I'm happy to see you.
Yeah, wait. I think. Look, I've now heard this story, and I think story time. I think I got to spotlight it real quick. Yo, tell the story for the people real quick.
So yesterday, I have a 3-year-old. For everybody knows, I got a 3-year-old son. He's always doing graphic stuff with me. Well, actually, no. Preston's 4. I'm sorry, my daughter's 3. Sorry, Preston's 4, and so he has been sleepwalking. So apparently he sleptwalked, and like I saw him at the top of the steps. He's coming down the steps about to jump off. So I run up the steps and catch him. I do catch him, but in that time frame of trying to catch him, I stepped really, really hard up the step, and I hear a pop like. And you know, when you get a little older in age, when you hear a pop, that's always a bad sound to hear. Lo and behold, my calf is like hurting, like burning. Then my ankle is like now numb. So then I was like, dang, I think I tore my Achilles tendon. I'll go downstairs and tell my wife, leg shakes for like 10 minutes. I finally fall off to sleep, wake up this morning, go to urgent care. Then I go to ER. They tell me he didn't even have to look at it. He looked right at it. He said, oh, yeah, your Achilles is mush. Torn Achilles. You're good. I was like, all right, 9 months in a boot. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Hurting.
I mean, that sucks. I'm not even going to lie. That just sucks. I mean, it is what it is, but
he didn't die, so that's all that matters.
You saved his life, and you blew your Achilles to do it. So let me tell you, we got ourselves a show tonight. Drip gets no sleep. Damn, no surgery.
Nah, I'm just going in the boot, baby, because it's the same recovery time.
Yeah, Das boot. So we got Matt saying what's up, Maddie saying what's up. Chris saying what's up.
What up?
Well, we got some things to talk about real quick. Let's just pay the bills, get this out of the way. So I'm going to go through the list of the bills. JD, I'll give you a heads up before I do the one.
No, I don't.
Bills, no, thank you.
There you go.
You're disgusting.
Statement Games Fun Free Twist on Fantasy Sports. Check it out. Link in the bio. The AATSportsNetwork.com/shop. That's where you can get an old school chips and dish t-shirt. We're going to get some new merch as soon as possible up in there. We got symbol.com, the stock market for sports. Use the code AATSports when you sign up. Lottery and luxury watches. Use the code AATBirds at checkout for 10% off. Triple Threat Bets at triplethreatwagers.com. funkbrewing.com. And as I mentioned or alluded to before, manscaped.com is partnered with AAT Birds. Use the code AAT Birds for 20% off and free shipping at checkout.
Your balls will thank you. I was
First of all,
watching.
Ain't nobody going down there but the wife. I ain't about to be putting no mechanical machines down there.
I will tell you what though.
What you use the rock and chisel still?
What if somebody hack it or something? And they be like,
It's supposed to be safe for that reason.
Yo, it is. It's. I'll attest to
I
it,
use it.
which works great. I use it. So check it out. So there we go. We got a lot to talk about because I have not had the opportunity. I know you guys have had the chance to talk about some Brian Flores related stuff. So we're going to get into that because my God, has that turned into an absolute dramatic juggernaut for the NFL, or maybe it hasn't, because that's what we got to. That's what we got to figure out. If it's just, a lot of something and not much anything coming from it. We're also going to talk about the absolute shamble of a Pro Bowl yesterday, because I don't know why they even bothered to play the game. But Chris says that he listens to your podcast, Prince. So there you go.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
I want to start with the NBA, because the trade deadline, I think, is Thursday, right? If I'm correct, it's Thursday.
You got to get into it, dog.
So the NBA trade deadline's coming up. Ben Simmons is still a 76er. Come Friday morning, he will still be a 76er. I'm going to start with that. But over the last 24 hours, 34 hours, 48 hours, whatever you want to say, they have mentioned over and over again that the Sixers have inquired from the Nets about a trade for one James Harden. And it almost feels like a year ago, the Sixers were having a conversation about a trade, Ben Simmons for James Harden. And it didn't happen then. He got traded to the Nets. So we're stuck in this vicious cycle here. I'm going to start with JD, because I know he has got some general management feelings. So I would just like to put it out this way. The biggest thing that Daryl Morey has done in the last calendar year, not like basketball year, the calendar year, has been a trade for George Hill and signing Georges Niang and signing Andre Drummond. JD, you got some thoughts? I see you're holding your boot. I can see it. What you got?
Let me mute my mic so I don't jump in. You're about to piss me off.
And Adam's saying right away before you even say anything, they're not trading Simmons till the offseason.
Listen, I don't give a shit when I don't care about. You know what? Ben Simmons is gonna be here because our management team is just as petty as he is. Like, that's the issue. They're just as petty. If anybody's petty like Ben and they are a manager, it's probably Daryl Morey. We've watched Daryl Morey go make these blockbuster deals that haven't yielded anything. Like, he's put together some of the biggest names with no chips. Like, it's almost like, he would be like the guy. How can I say this? He's the guy with the baby leg, but ain't got no rhythm. He just out there with a baby leg, no rhythm. That's what he is. Like, that's what he is in the basketball world.
For those of you playing the home game, the baby leg is a wiener.
And it's like all the girls are like, oh yeah, it's like it's a baby's leg. But then he get in there, he don't know what he's doing. She just walk away. Like, and that's Daryl Morey. He gives you all these great expectations. Like, he's the big money guy. He's gonna make big moves. He gets people, but then nothing comes of it. Like, listen, I don't give a shit if we had 15 All-Stars on the team. With Daryl Morey's track record, we still wouldn't win anything. I don't trust him. I don't trust the 76ers organization. I know Prince has other feelings. He wants to wait and wait and wait. Him and Big T Will, all they want to do is wait. Well, y'all keep waiting. We ain't getting no younger. I already got gray in my beard. So you keep waiting, all right?
Yeah. Matt, just so you know, my student is still tuning in. It's just at this point, got to get an education, Prince, you have a thought, it seems like, because I know that in the green room, the two of you were going at it, and I don't know, convince me. I'm the impartial jury here.
Okay. You just said it yourself, Chip, that in the last calendar year, so I guess you're not counting that he got rid of that albatross that was Al Horford's contract.
No.
You're not counting that. Okay, so you're saying he signed Georges Niang and Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
The Sixers do not have Ben Simmons, correct? Right? 3-time star of the year, elite passer, rebound, all the other good stuff.
Right.
And said this a game out something like that. So I'm trying to figure out if they don't have Ben Simmons and Embiid is pretty much the baddest dude on the planet and they're doing well. How has this not given Daryl Morey more of a leash to hold on to Ben and then get something done later on? Because this is what you don't want to happen. You don't want Ben Simmons traded for a bag of bones and then one of the 5 superstars or stars on the current team gets disgruntled and say they want out. And Daryl Morey sitting here, but hey, we have Marvin Bagley and Buddy Hield. Too bad we traded Ben to Sacramento.
So
It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense to just trade them just to trade them.
So my struggle is this, and you hear it a lot coming out of the mouths of people like Joel Embiid. When it comes to the player that Ben Simmons is compared to the player we all want him to be, he's not worth the value that Daryl Morey thinks he's going to get. Now, if you look at just, the stat list, he's a, this many time NBA All-Star did it. That's great. That's great. But please remember, last season, Klay Thompson got All-Star votes. Ben Simmons got All-Star votes this year, and they didn't play in a game. So I don't really look at the idea of, okay, well, let's look at the All-Star of it all. Ben Simmons had the raw athletic ability to be an absolute stud in this league. But on draft night, back when he was drafted, Kobe Bryant himself said, if he does not develop a jump shot, he is going to be miserable with the fact that he wasted his NBA career. Ben Simmons refused to get in the gym and really get in the gym to take accountability going, look, I needed to work harder. But Tyrese Maxey's doing it, and you see what's paying off. Matisse Thybulle's doing it, you're seeing it paying off. These guys are nice pieces. Matisse Thybulle last year when all this talk was happening, there was a conversation had on this show saying, who would you rather have, Matisse Thybulle or Ben Simmons? And I said right then and there, Matisse Thybulle, because he's coachable. Because he's coachable. He's coachable.
You know why like the Ben Simmons get so many people to kiss their what? Because just waking out of bed, they're better than they're part of the top 10% of the world. They can just get out of the bed and just do it.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I teach that to my kids. Ben Simmons doesn't work hard. Ben Simmons, if he doesn't have a yes man, doesn't do what he needs to do.
He works hard. He just doesn't work hard at what he needs to work hard.
Correct. I'll give you that. I'll concede that point. I'll give you that. But the issue is that there's things that he needs to do. But there's things that he needs to do to fit into the system. And since he won't do that, he's got to go somewhere. The problem is that the entire NBA has seen this mismanagement by Morey, this mismanagement by Ben Simmons, this mismanagement by Doc, this mismanagement by Brett Brown. It goes all the way back to him. They know that they don't have to sell the farm to get Ben Simmons. Problem is that Daryl Morey is the only person who still thinks that he's got a premium player on his hands. He doesn't.
He does.
He doesn't.
He does. To you and me, but I guarantee you poll them executives, they think differently than you and I think. Telling you. The only reason they're really not rushing down the door to really make him know why? Because the league is behind Daryl Morey. Because Ben Simmons 4-year contract, they trade him for pennies. Ben Simmons pretty much is telling everybody else that signs a max deal, get your bag and then complain and you can leave. Like, there's a lot that play to this. Go ahead.
I've been waiting. I've been letting y'all talk it out because I wanted to see if we were going to get to a point. The real point of this is this was mishandled from the time that they lost the last game of last season. There should have been a conversation that happened in the locker room
Right then and there, sure.
with all the players and said, listen, if y'all two dudes want to fight, we're going to lock the doors, we're going to put a broom in the door handle, and we're going to let y'all bang it out. But when y'all go out there, y'all going to be a united front. That didn't happen. Doc wasn't a united front. Joel Embiid wasn't a united front. None of them cats was a united front. So I've been doing some research.
Oh, okay.
So in my research, I found that in 2019, everybody's bitching about, Ben Simmons talking about 2019 about how Joel was out of shape. People said he needed to stop eating burgers every day, needed to eat better, things of that nature. And Ben came to his defense, said, "Hey man, we're gonna get it together," so on and so forth. So fast forward, you remember when Joel Embiid was in the fight with Karl Anthony Towns?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the fight? You remember the only person that was trying to throw hands back with him on his team?
Mm-hmm. It was Ben Simmons.
It was Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben Simmons has proved his loyalty. Is he the best player? Hell no. No. Ben Simmons is not the best player. He's not. Like, I'll be first to tell you that. But I'll tell you what he ain't. He ain't about to be nobody's doormat, and that's what Morey tried to make him. They tried to make him the scapegoat the entire year. There was a lot of that.
Are you saying that quote unquote, you mean when he was holding the neck of a person that he actually came up with and knows pretty well, and Karl Anthony Towns, that was having Embiid's back?
Yeah, because he could have been on that man's head. Have you seen Joel Embiid fight? Because I never have.
He was pretty much telling him to calm down. It's all right, cat. Chill out, chill out, chill out. He wasn't like throwing hands. You acted like it was like Malice in the Palace. No, that was throwing hands.
That was a fight.
Was having your boy back.
Nah, that wasn't having your boy back. The difference is the NBA now is a bunch of weaklings. That's the best you're going to get is a headlock.
So, wait, hold on, wait. Not only that, just remember this exists.
He's soft.
Hold it up.
Softy.
Hold it up. Come on, press it up.
Soft.
That exists. I'm just saying.
That's your king? That's your king?
You know what I think?
That's your king?
I think that we've all had those friends to where, like, me and Chip, if we going back, me and Chip or me and JD, if we're going back and forth, I know, like, it may be joking at the time, but I absolutely know that what I'm saying can get under your skin. And I think that's what Joel Embiid, it's like, it's a lot of truth in comedy. Like, he's saying soft.
Absolutely. It's funny because it's true, right?
But he's really saying, like, you soft, but it's not like, at that point, it wasn't like a you soft, I can't stand you. It was like a you soft dude, you don't know what you're capable of. You can dominate this league. You could dominate this team.
And I agree with that. The problem is that since that video, since the Game 7, since all of it, in the fight or flight response to it all, Ben Simmons has done the exact wrong set of things. And here we are sitting at the trade deadline. Ben Simmons refuses to even come into the building. He's going to get fined a total of $31 million this year. $31 million, but teachers are working multiple jobs. I'm just saying. Teachers are working multiple jobs. Ben Simmons, for not going to work, is throwing away $31 million and still living his dream. But we're just supposed to say, well, this guy's still an elite player. He hasn't played. And when he was playing, he was at the very bottom of his game, missing free throws, refusing to take shots, passing up open layups. Yeah, he played some defense, but when you are a max contract player, and you can't be on the court, in the fourth quarter because you are a liability on offense. I've heard of a liability on defense. I've heard of that one. But a liability on offense as a max player, offense in the NBA wins games. Ben Simmons is not worth what Ben Simmons thinks he is worth.
It's not Ben Simmons.
And Daryl Morey thinks he is worth.
Hold on. Let's put this out there. I've never heard in the history of ever Ben Simmons ever say he was a great player. even from the time he was in college, high school even, he never has said, I'm this great player. He's never said, I'm a great scorer. He's never said anything because he doesn't really talk. He's like a ball brother. He's a fourth ball brother. He doesn't really talk. The only thing he does say is, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, that's basically what he's saying. So we're all sitting around saying all this bad stuff about Ben Simmons. They're yelling F you at the game, at a wrestling match when he wasn't even there. The treatment that the Get has received has been no worse or no better than it should have been. Like, he's basically Santa Claus. Like, he's Santa Claus. Like, when did he come out and say something bad? He said, I don't want to play here anymore. Why would he want to?
But you know of anything. If a person knows they got you, then they're going to keep messing with you. And we know that Ben Simmons is super hypersensitive about the criticism. So
He
guess
surrounds
what
himself with yes men. That's his issue.
They're going to keep his big brother from LSU said something about him. Then he got in his damn DMs. He didn't get Shaq's number. He didn't call him. He's DMing him. Like, come on.
What do y'all want from this man? Like, y'all want him to get on the phone?
I want him to get on the court.
He's not playing for you guys. He's not going to do it
now.
Like, let me ask you a question. Prince, we all work. We all have jobs. We all been working. You know what I'm saying? Prince, we had jobs. So we had jobs. If you ever didn't want to go to work and you had the ability to quit your job, what's the difference between him working at McDonald's and working in the NBA?
$31 million.
Yeah, 30.
So what?
That'd be $31 million with a side of fries. $31 million with a side of fries.
So if he misses the entire year and if he gives all that money back to the Sixers, what's the problem now?
Bro.
Because now you're looking at the bigger picture. Now you're looking at the fact that Joel Embiid having an MVP season, there's no question about it. He is player of the year in the NBA right now.
Yep.
Doesn't have the piece that was built, that was picked to be built around him. Remember, we gave up Jimmy Butler.
You didn't give up.
Choose Ben Simmons.
Listen,
if the choice was Ben Simmons or Jimmy Butler, they chose Ben Simmons.
How well has Jimmy Butler worked out where he's at?
He led his team to the finals single-handedly.
Yeah, they went to the finals,
bro,
with no other help.
And they lost,
but with no other help.
Okay, but they went.
Guys, listen, here's my thing. This is what I don't understand about Philly fans, and I want y'all to answer this for me. What does it matter if we make it there and we don't win? Are they giving out participation trophies, or they're live for like almost? Let's go.
No, but it's funny. A guy that was here with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid can't make it out of the second round. A dude goes to a far lesser team and then goes to the finals.
Funny
because
story.
The ball was in his hands, right?
You're right. Funny story. Jimmy Butler was you just said it, on a better team in a situation, and Kawhi still beat him. Flip the page next year, LeBron beat him. But we all think Jimmy Butler was the answer. Everybody, if you talk to anybody, Jimmy Butler was the answer. We let him go
because he was perfect. He was a closer. He matter of fact, Butler had to come in because Ben wouldn't develop it. We didn't have a closer. You can't have a 7'2" closer. You just can't.
It's funny how people remember the story. I remember the story a little bit different than that. Just like I remember last game a little bit different. I remember last game that we played with the whole team together with Simmons. Joel Embiid had 9 turnovers in that game. I do recall that. I remember
because he shouldn't be the primary ball handler.
You know what he did? He took that criticism and got better. Ben took his criticism and complained.
Here we go. Here's who came at Joel though.
Everybody.
Oh, he's a meme. He's a freaking meme.
About that particular game. Who got the majority of that criticism? Come on, bro. Y'all stop playing with me. Who got the majority of that criticism for that game?
There's no denying that Ben.
Oh, go ahead, Chip. I'm sorry.
No, there's no denying that Ben Simmons in the playoffs has gotten a ton of criticism for being Ben Simmons in the playoffs. Regular season Ben Simmons and playoff Ben Simmons are two separate guys. So we know when the lights shine the brightest, some players don't do well. We just got rid of another one in Carson Wentz, right? Regular season MVP chokes in the playoffs. That's where if he even gets there. If he even gets there, right? Sometimes he gets there. Sometimes he chokes in those winning in games. Ben Simmons when getting the same. So Joel Embiid gets the criticism that he does. 7'2" center should not be your primary ball handler. He just shouldn't be. 7'2" center should not be your primary ball handler.
9 turnovers because you know why? He was at least trying.
You're right.
He was trying to.
Because
I mean,
again,
if you're
Ben Simmons was a liability on offense.
4
right.
or 5.
Are you ready for this?
4 or
You ready?
5.
Funny story. Doc Rivers just recently got criticized about his coaching tactics.
We talked about this. Yep.
Why is that nobody was on his head being up in all those series and people keep coming back and beating them? Or letting Herter, Opie from damn what is it, Andy Griffith's show, let him go off for damn near 30 points in a game.
You and I,
killed him.
JD, talked about this with the "Would you ask Pop that question?" quote.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because Pop is a great coach. You are a peon, buddy. Doc Rivers is not as advertised.
I had him saying he was at the Hawks game 1, and Simmons was literally hiding in the corner, scared to shoot.
You're right.
Whoa. Doc isn't as advertised, but I'm gonna use your analogy.
Here we go. Let's go.
He won.
Who won that championship?
He won. You the
Exactly.
same thing you say about Morey.
You're right.
Same thing you say about
Here
Morey.
we go. Here we go.
He won. He
You ready,
won.
Chris? I've been waiting on you to say that. Guess what?
He won.
In the games that he won the championship, he had Hall of Famers. How many Hall of Famers is on this team?
I don't care. He
Maybe
won.
Maybe
Joel
one.
Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Now I'm just Maxey's way off.
Nah,
I'm messing. I'm messing.
Embiid. It's probably
Just
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
It's Joel Embiid for sure.
So Joel Embiid would be equivalent to Kevin Garnett on the Boston Celtics.
Right.
When he coached the Clippers, he had probably 2 Hall of Famers, depending on how you look at it. I don't think playoff P is one, but whatever. But playoff P is better than anybody we got. So he couldn't win with Kawhi. So what are we saying about him? He let somebody come back. He was up, 3 games to 1? They came back and beat him. Doc Rivers is known for this shit, y'all. Like, what are we doing? Like, yeah.
I mean, I know that.
We all agree he cannot rotate his players. He over rotates. He overthinks. He plays his guys rather than the best matchups. He is not
hockey lineups is bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. He allows. My issue with Doc Rivers is this: he's got whatever his system is, and he's really good at yelling it. But when it comes time to actually run it in game time, he just lets the players ball rather than coaching them. You know what I mean? And that's the situation where he's Brett Brown. I can't even say 2.0. It's the same situation. They went from Brett Brown just to a guy who coaches like Brett Brown, who has an NBA championship. But my issue here isn't Doc Rivers. I do not feel like Doc Rivers should remain coach of this team if the Sixers don't make the finals this season. I know he will. I'm sure he will.
They're not making it to the finals either.
But that's my thing. This team isn't getting better. If anything, they are taking the absolute prime of a 7'2" center, and we all know that big men in this league, their prime is pretty short, especially one with the knee injuries and the back injuries that Ben Simmons has. That's why you always have to have a starting, not Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. That's why you always have to have a starting caliber backup center for Joel Embiid. You saw it with Dwight Howard. You see it with Andre Drummond.
Final.
But Ben Simmons being on this team is just a straight distraction at this point.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen.
But trading him for Harden isn't the answer. Harden's going to be a free agent this season. So giving him up, and I saw one today, was like, would you trade Seth Curry and Ben Simmons for James Harden? No.
27-year-old Harden? Yes. 33-year-old Harden? No.
Who's going to be a free agent this offseason? Let me say that again. He's going to be a free agent this offseason.
And looks like me in a jersey right now. No, I'm not trading Seth Curry.
Can we take this low-hanging fruit real quick?
Do it.
So what happens if Morey gets Harden? We got to bet on this a little bit. We already got to bet on this.
Final.
If they grab Harden, right, and they still don't win shit, then what?
So my issue with Harden right now, and it was my same issue with Harden last year. Now, my issue with last year is I didn't realize that Ben was going to implode. I didn't realize that he was going to be a little punk ass and not play basketball for the team anymore. My issue with Harden is, like you said, the age you're starting to see the wear and tear on the tires. And I don't feel like he's playing with two superstars right now. You know, he's playing with two superstars right now, and he's still doing the James Harden thing. It's still the James Harden show.
No,
I don't see him buying into the system.
From all the reports I have read, is one of his issues is he has sacrificed his game for Kyrie, and Kyrie's not there. Harden's worst season is 23-10-9. 23-10-9.
I would take that. I would take that. I just don't want.
Can Harden win the big one?
And this is going to lead us into the next thing, because I swear we're talking too much in it, but it's about a microcosm of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. Steve Nash shouldn't have got that job.
Nope.
What credentials did he have for those three superstars?
Bro, I'll
Those
take this
three
hat off
black
right now.
superstars. Nothing. He had a good agent. It was who he knew, and he walked into a job with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Meanwhile, my boy Silas in Houston got people ordering grills on the sideline, saying they not going to show up, fighting assistants, and they might fire my man with all that turmoil.
Yo, check this out. Not only do I agree with you, we can transition to the next topic. I'm gonna roll.
I'm ready.
Into there. It's asinine and it's laughable to think that these black coaches, regardless of whatever they're in, they're still behind the eight ball. When most of them have played the game, we know when you play, you have a little bit more knowledge about a game than a guy that's
Sure
been chilling. So, to Prince's point, man, there's no reason Steve Nash should have that job. Steve Nash has not only put them behind the eight ball, but guess who would have been perfect for that job?
Who?
Tyronn Lue would have been perfect. They should have.
Yes, he would have.
Tyronn Lue. He's been a player.
You look at it, and this kind of, to me, kind of falls to the problem that you saw with most of the Cavs coaches when LeBron was there, and then most of the Lakers coaches when he was there as well. They get a coach for these superstars, these massive superstars like LeBron. I'm going to focus on LeBron for a minute. They don't really need to coach because LeBron is an on-the-court coach, right? He bringing the players that he wants. They run the system that he wants. He is LeBron James. So Tyronn Lue was the coach for LeBron James. He didn't really have to do much coaching. Tyronn Lue going over to Golden State, to Brooklyn, where you have a Kevin Durant. Again, same kind of logic there. Kevin Durant is enough of a basketball superstar where he's kind of like an on-court coach. Steve Nash is not a great coach. He was too unproven for this. But again, because you already had the big names, they didn't necessarily need a great coach. They just needed somebody with the name.
CEO. They needed somebody to just be there and make sure when things go sideways, he has enough respect from the veteran players to get stuff done and let them figure stuff out.
Same thing with Jason Kidd over in Dallas. Same thing with Jason Kidd over in Dallas because of Luka and Kristaps and everybody over there, right? Jason Kidd is a good coach. He's an okay coach. He hasn't done much to prove it. He hasn't worked his way up. You know, Sam Cassell is working his way up. Monty Williams worked his way up. Like, these are guys that worked their way up. Why do these now retired NBA point guards just get given jobs?
You know why? Because it's a circle. It's like if you got a Rolodex of women, like, you're always going to go back to who you know and who you know. It's all about relationships. If people and we're going to get into the blind forest stuff because it's perfect. Some of it is racial, but I promise you, a lot of it is about relationships.
Yep.
That's all it's about. But these relationships with these people just have to be white. It is how it is. Listen, it is how it is. Like, I think an owner absolutely walks in somewhere and be like, find me a white coach? No. But I think they're like, hey, you know, I worked with so-and-so. He was an assistant with me in Florida. And I think he'll be great for this job. And the owner's like, Well, if he's good for you, he's good for me.
You saw that. You saw that with the Eagles, right? They hired Nick Sirianni, and it was a who's who of who he's worked with. They bring in guys from the Chargers. They bring in guys from the Colts. That's our offensive and defensive coordinator. You see it in Jacksonville, right? They just hired Doug Peterson, who's the first person that they're like, I'm bringing in who? Press Taylor, who he got fired. Doug Peterson got fired for suggesting Press Taylor as the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. So the first thing he does in Jacksonville is he goes, I'm bringing in Press Taylor.
You gonna get fired again. Goddamn Press Taylor, man.
Press Taylor.
Why can't he quit him? Just quit him.
I wish I could quit you.
Listen, bro, and this is the situation. And we're gonna get into the racial part of that because there is some.
Yeah, I'm putting it up there because we're getting there. So
the lawsuit of Brian Flores is crazy. They just went out and they just hired Lovie Smith to basically to smooth to add preparation H to the itch. And the preparation H, can you start throwing some of these comments up there? The preparation H is, I mean, we got a lot to get through, but the preparation H is going to it's not going to be enough, man. Like Lovie Smith, think a lot of him, but Brian Flores is a way better coach than Lovie Smith. Like, let's just be
agreed.
Honest. Let's just be honest.
So, well, all right. Yeah. So let's back it up. Let's back it up for a second here, right? So, for those of you who have been living under a rock for the last week, right? Here's what happens. Brian Flores was misfired by the Miami Dolphins. 100% misfired. I do not think that was a valid, justified firing, in my opinion. Maybe you guys disagree, but he led the team to almost a playoff berth with Tua as his quarterback.
Tua.
So what does he do? He goes and interviews for the Giants job, but finds out from Bill Belichick himself, Bill Belichick sends a text message to Brian saying, congrats on the job. Oh, thanks. I haven't even interviewed yet. Wait, did I send this to the Brian Dable? Nope, you send it to the wrong Brian.
I texted the wrong Brian. Sorry.
I texted the wrong Brian.
The way he said it, it's like if that was words, that's how he would have said it.
Texted the wrong Brian. So Brian Flores, again, if you've been living under a rock, Brian Flores sues the NFL and specifically calls out the Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos. And he sues it on the account of racism. For those of you who have been living under a rock for years and years and years and years, there is something in the NFL known as the Rooney Rule, which is a way to combat the fact that there was no minority coaches, that they required, let me say that again, required NFL teams to at least interview them, at least interview a minority candidate before you went ahead and hired your white coach.
For the kids at home, that was what we used to call affirmative action.
Correct. Correct.
No, we just need to call it what it is.
Now, Deuce Staley was the Rooney Rule interviewee for 2 or 3 different sets of interviews here in Philadelphia before he didn't get the job under Sirianni. And he's like, I have to go somewhere else. I can't just be the black guy you call on when you hire the white coach. I can't be that guy anymore.
Yep.
Okay. So Brian Flores sues the NFL. Oh my God. This is not, no. We are good. We look at everybody equally. False. And we make sure that, we just want to hire the right coaches. False.
Also.
And right after this lawsuit, the first hiring that happened was
a white guy,
Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. When Byron Leftwich was a finalist for the position, but he didn't want to work with the GM down there. He's like, take my damn name out. Like, enough. Enough is enough. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back to where Tom Brady's retiring. I'll develop Garrett Gilbert, whoever's over there. Now, what you guys may have missed, I know I've been talking for a minute or two, so we'll break into some of this, is on February 5th,
Yep.
Good old Roger Goodell sends out a memo.
Yep.
He sends out a memo, and it reads some of the highlights. I want to adjust this, discuss it. There's racism in any form is not part of the NFL. We've made efforts to talk about diversity. We're going to reevaluate and examine all policies, guidelines, and initiatives relating to diversity, equity, and inclusion, including as they relate to gender. So we're deflecting the race issue. We're now going to also including gender. See, that's one thing that I've learned will happen a lot. As soon as you start talking about racism, they'll start to deflect from the center issue so that the racism issue never gets figured out. Yes, gender equality is important, but right now we're talking racism.
Is it?
So moving. It is.
Never mind.
It is.
Don't worry about it.
But again, the issue here is racism, right? We understand the concerns expressed. We're going to look into it moving forward. We're not going to wait, though. We're going to fix this. We take seriously integrity of NFL games because Brian Flores said he was offered money to throw games. And there's much to do and embrace this moment and seize the opportunity to become stronger, more inclusive league. So that says nothing.
That's really a big fancy way of saying we're looking into it. Ain't nothing working, and it probably ain't gonna work. But hey,
but I'll put out a memo.
We're trying. Yeah, I'll put out a memo. Let me. You know what's wrong with the NFL?
So much, but pick the one thing.
The Rooney Rule. The issue with the Rooney Rule is it's just not about the coaches. What did I say?
GMs, assistant coaches. Yep.
It's about relationships. No. It need to be owners. It need to be owners. It need to be quote unquote, pun intended, minority black owners. Some and I'm calling out the black community, the black millionaires, the black billionaires. Get together, find a team, be like, hey, you really don't care about this team? Make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah.
Buy you a bigger stake. There's actually, I think, Detroit's owner is a woman. She's a Ford, right? I believe
so.
Right. But again, she inherited by blood. We need to start infusing some people at the top to make some of these decisions. It's all about relationships.
If it's only one voice saying, I talk about this in my classroom, right? Again, so I teach 7th grade social studies. So we're talking about early America. Who were the people making the choices? Rich white dudes. Rich white landowning dudes. That's who made all the choices. That's the people who were allowed to vote.
With wigs.
So, what's that?
With wigs.
With wigs. So women's rights weren't included. Farmers' rights weren't included. Blacks' rights weren't included. Native American rights weren't included. These things weren't included because they didn't have a seat at the table. What you're saying, Prince, is dead on accurate. If you want legitimate change, you have to introduce other voices to the table. Looking like I do, don't understand fully, can't even possibly comprehend. I can sympathize. I can try and understand, but I cannot fully comprehend what either of you two gentlemen have ever really gone through in your life. And that's really me admitting that.
Yeah, I don't know what an 800 credit score looks like, but I bet you do, Chip.
I do not. I do not.
Yo,
I do not. Maybe we can all agree on one of those things, but I can tell you right now, I do not.
So I think what we have to do is really, when it comes down to it, and we talk about this sometimes, Prince, is we gotta stop always thinking that the color means you don't know the struggle. Color isn't indicative of the struggle. And sometimes you may have had different obstacles, but the struggle is still there regardless of the color. Because the only people that really don't have those same obstacles are people that have that don't worry about credit because you got money. You don't worry about the credit because you got the bread. And that's that I'm from South Carolina. So we know that money been around for a long time. You'll walk into a house, and you never seen a crystal chandelier before. Well, that was me as being a 10-year-old boy. One of my best friends had a crystal chandelier.
Right.
And had a pantry. And I never seen either. So
what we call it in the South, JD? We call it old money.
Old money. And the thing
old
about
money.
it, so that same old money that we're speaking of is the same old money that owns these teams. You catch my drift? So that old money doesn't ever want to give up position and authority, because you got to think about this. Roger Goodell, we talked about this with Bridges, with
Jeremy,
with JB. We talked about it with JB about how the collective bargaining agreement in the NBA makes it a completely different ball game for the NFL to the NBA, because those owners, Roger Goodell works for them. The difference between Adam Silver is pissing off the owners of the NBA because he's changing rules on their ass. Like that's the difference. And they have a collective bargaining agreement which pretty much governs the entire NBA. The NFL is they're basically it's like owner and slave basically.
The NBA is run by the players. The players make up the league. In the NFL, you've got that core group of players, but the league runs itself. The league runs itself.
The owners are doing it, man. Jerry Jones is the commissioner for real. Let's be real.
True.
Jerry Jones is running everything. Him and somehow Snyder up in Washington Commanders, the weird commander team.
Let's not.
I know you don't want to talk.
He knows where all the bodies are buried.
Exactly.
He knows where all.
Nobody
Prince,
else would have been able to
don't go commando on my screen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's gross. That was gross.
That's gonna be their new hashtag. You know it, right? Go commando.
Oh, they just ass out like.
No, but what you're seeing is I'm not going to use that analogy, but all these owners know each other's dirt, so that's why you would never see them speak out against one another.
True.
Until the bag is absolutely being messed with.
How many emails were pulled from Snyder, and the only consequence was John Gruden got fired?
John Gruden's low-hanging fruit.
John Gruden, he was like, let's shut somebody up. Let's shut somebody up.
Or Daniel Snyder worth $3.2 billion.
Yo, Pop Ted's coming up real quick. Listen,
the HBO show The Gilded Age is the early American version of this.
Listen, and the thing about this is we watched all the Game of Thrones. It's like, who's in power? If you don't want to give away, because the thing about it is inclusiveness and making everything equal means that somebody who was at the top is no longer at the top. Now they're equal. And
right.
If you're not equal, if you're not one of the 5%ers of the world, and you don't have that money, you don't know that struggle. The rest of us know that struggle. The rest of us kind of know paycheck to paycheck living, whatever. Like this Silicon Valley money is nothing compared to this old money. So they've been rich for a long time. And they ain't here for a good time. They here for a long time.
But the thing is, those 5%ers, what they do is they don't look at it as rich versus poor. They take it down to that bottom level and they go, all right, well, there's white poverty and then there's black poverty. If we can divide that group, because if that group unites, then we got ourselves a problem.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But if that group is divided, at least I'm not the poorest group, right? That's where the issue comes in. And again, we're talking about this coaching cycle. We're talking about this coaching hiring cycle. And you get a guy like Doug Peterson, who, by the way, deserved the job. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. I'm not saying that the Doug Peterson hiring was a bad hiring. What I'm saying is this guy is not multiracial.
Who is that?
That's Mike McDaniels, the new coach of the Dolphins, who identifies, identifies as biracial, so therefore they met the Rooney Rule requirements and will get the draft pick and the compensation.
Biracial where?
Tell now, there was some issues with what Stephen A. Smith said today, where he was quote unquote saying that this dude isn't black enough or whatever.
Well,
I'm not going to get into all that because I'm not going to do that. But what I do find hilarious is
who black though?
He's biracial. I don't know his makeup. I think he stayed.
I think it's his dad.
For like 2 months or some shit.
Hold on, Prince. I don't want to cut you off. Hold on, wait a second. I got some little mixed kids in the upstairs, bro. I go get one of them little mixed kids.
Well, they gonna grow up looking like that.
I'm telling you, that dude right there don't look like them little mixed kids upstairs, bro. Like
his daddy jeans are strong.
What that dude look like the Winter Soldier. Like I'm telling you straight up, that's the Winter Soldier with glasses on. That ain't no black man. Have you ever seen the movie School Dance with Cat Williams?
Yes.
There's a part in there when Cat Williams is in jail and his wife goes visit him. Who is this young white man baby that y'all got out here? That's certainly not my child.
My wife chiming in from the kitchen right here saying absolutely is another race in him. Mariah Carey looks very white, but she is multiracial and identifies as African American.
Mariah Carey
doesn't mean they are skirting the rule though, because they are.
Yeah.
They are skirting the rule.
Yeah. Thank you, Pete.
T, if he's white, then Stanley can play basketball. How about that?
Wait, hold on.
Ain't no way. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
He looks
I
like
don't
a
know
serial
what
killer.
that is. Like, did they do like?
Boy, stop. I'm walking.
It's the same man.
Boy, that's
This is how the NFL solves their we're not hiring enough black coaches problem by hiring this guy.
Boy,
My
stop.
Taylor
That
Swift collection is blacker than him. What is this? Like,
Yo.
what is this?
man, look at this. That man looked like the dude from 50 Shades of Grey. That's the same dude. They flying on a private jet right now. That's the baby after the movie over with. 50 Shades Darker or whatever. That's the baby they had afterward.
He needed to be 50 Shades Darker.
Boy,
This
that man
looked
out
like
here-
a bad Hallmark movie. Like,
I know how dominant and recessive being was.
No.
I have
only
plenty
thing
of little
recessive on him
beige
is his
children.
hairline.
Wow.
man.
So the
No,
tweet that I pulled this from is incredible because it's what does this man do for a living? And that's a picture of him. And someone's like, he's a third grade teacher somewhere in the North Penn School District. But the rest of the comments, my wife, manager at Arby's, tutors kids studying for their SATs at a Panera Bread, tells you to unplug your router and plug it back in.
Definitely. Definitely.
He raps under the name Logic in his free time. Competitive battle robot creator.
Yo, check this out. Do you guys remember the okay, so you might remember this, Prince. You remember the cyber awareness that you used to do when you was in the military and the guy would always steal your computer? That's that dude. Like that's the dude that would always steal your computer. He
Like,
looks
you'll
he
come back
works
to your
at a-
desk
Yeah.
and your computer's gone.
Yo,
You trying to
he looks
prove
like
a point.
he looks like
My wife said when he I wonder what he identifies when he goes to the doctor and checks off his race. I bet it's white.
got to be. That man looked like he work at Geek Squad. He's the manager
Someone-
of Geek Squad.
I think the comment that wins though is again, what does this man do? He's a hip to the times youth pastor.
Nah, he just a little too nice to be a youth pastor, bro.
You're right.
He's
Just did my
executive.
taxes last week might be the runaway.
He's the executive. He's just the executive. He's the executive pastor at a young hip church.
But right, so we're continuing on this, right? So Brian Flores sues the NFL. Oh God, Tila, Jake from State Farm. Yeah, might be.
Oh,
he's certainly not. He's certainly not Jacques from State Farm.
Nah, Jake is black now. They changed
That's true.
Jake up.
That's true. So Brian Flores sues the NFL. He interviews for the Texans job. They give it to Lovie Smith, who is a black man, who is a Super Bowl appearing black coach. He's a former coach of the year. Again, a qualified candidate. But he didn't appear as a coaching candidate until yesterday.
I wonder why.
After they had already sent all their white candidates home.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. So now this is where I get confused.
Let's do it.
Brian Flores puts out the following statement through his lawyer
Let's do it.
just a little while ago.
Put it out.
And it reads, Mr. Flores is happy to hear that the Texans have hired a black head coach. Lovie Smith is Mr. Flores' goal in bringing his case is to provide real opportunities for black and minority candidates to be considered for. Okay, fine. However, we would be remiss not to mention that Flores was one of the 3 finalists for the Texans coaching job. And after a great interview and mutual interest, it's obvious the only reason Mr. Flores was not selected was his decision to stand up against racial inequality across the NFL. No kidding. He's never getting another job again. He's about to get Kaepernicked.
And don't say Kaepernick. Here's the issue. Here, I can't stand Kaepernick. Here's the issue.
Sure.
The NFL right now is in a lose-lose situation.
Yes,
you
they
hire
are.
a black person, it's to appease the controversy. You don't hire a black person. See. So what Flores has done, he's created such a shitstorm that they have no choice but to pay this man to make him go away. Like,
Listen,
I'm waiting for the press conference where he said, I hope going forward the NFL knows that we're going to be watching closely and let me go spend my $82.2 million lawsuit money.
If you look at this list here, right? So this is the list of the available coaching jobs and who got hired, right?
He's better than like all of them except for maybe Doug Peterson.
Right? If you look, this right here is where the Flores lawsuit comes in. The Doug Peterson hiring is where the Flores lawsuit comes in. White guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy. Mike McDaniel.
Still a white guy.
Lovie Smith. So they're like, oh, okay, we'll hire. And then Dennis Allen, who again was the interim coach. A lot of these decisions make sense. You know what I mean? I do understand it. Bieniemy's still not a head coach.
Yeah.
It's something.
Something's wrong there.
I think he's a bad interview. It's like
He's gotta be.
It's like when I think of what's the guy that does Monday Night Football? He got me blocked on Twitter. What's his name? The black guy. What's his name?
Booger?
Not
No.
Booger. Oh, I need
What is his name?
Hold on. Let me tell you.
Help me out, Chip.
Hold on. I got to think of his name. Hold on 1 second. He tries to be a GM every year. And they
Oh,
tell him
Louis
no.
Riddick. Louis Riddick.
Louis Riddick.
Look at it. He interviews a lot too. Doesn't get the job. Again, I think it's relationships and it's these interviews because you can't. Bieniemy's been a coach search since before Mahomes has won the Super Bowl, and dude is continuing to not get.
Matt is saying here that Eric eventually will take over for Andy, and maybe that's the case, right? Maybe that's the case.
What are you?
And my wife says, but the NFL put words on the back of the helmets. Doesn't that just solve everything? Yes, it does. Sure. Mhm, yep.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Whoa. Are we not going to take the low hanging fruit? There's
Do
a
it.
guy in Tampa. There's a guy in Tampa that is
Todd Bowles.
offensive. Is an offensive genius. Not even just him. The
Byron
offensive
Leftwich,
coordinator.
Todd Bowles, Eric Bieniemy should all be NFL head coaches. And not
the
because
Sam
they're
Cassell.
black, because they're qualified NFL coaches.
They're the Sam Cassell of the NFL. Let's just be real. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I hate to say this and I hate to beat a dead horse. And we need to say this out loud. So I'm going to say it out loud for you guys since nobody else wants to say it. Brian Flores not only will not work in this line of work again, but they went out and got a guy that I don't think Lovie Smith is going to do shit at the Texans.
Not with that train wreck in Houston. No.
No. And it's going to be, then he'll get fired because he won't be able to produce anything. But that's the problem, that these black coaches don't end up coming into a plethora of talent. They come into a shitstorm.
Which is why Brian Flores, to me, is a good coach and did such a good job, because he went into a bad Miami situation and at least made them playoff caliber, even when he was told not to.
But the caveat here is, the GM in Miami was black. It's relationships, people.
It's all relationships, and that doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
And reports say that Flores didn't want Tua.
True. Who would want him?
Not
But this is my point. You can't tell your owner that you're not going to go with the franchise QB. Then you just made their decision a lot better.
You know what, Prince?
And you're right.
I would have been with you if Tua didn't have availability issues. If he hadn't got drafted with a broke damn hip. Like, if all these things weren't considered, because I watched college football, Tua was not one of the better quarterbacks in that draft that year.
He was drafted too high because he was a quarterback coming out of college. Exactly. We know that quarterbacks in the NFL get drafted way too high. You saw it with the Senior Bowl this past weekend. We went from there are no good quarterbacks coming out. There's Kenny Pickett, he might be good. Matt Corral, he might be good. To now, Malik Willis is going to be a first-round pick. There's going to be 3 quarterbacks drafted in the top 12 again, and none of them are top 12 talent.
It better not.
Yo, I gotta tell you something that make you feel really, really good. And we gonna talk about this. I know I was gonna spring it on you last minute, but now since
Did Simmons got traded?
No, that'll be too good of news. I would run away from the screen. The funny thing is that I believe Howie is gonna pull the trigger on Malik Willis. I do. And then we're going to be no better off than we were. And this is going to be a shit show for the next 3 years. I'm excited.
I can't do it. I already got guys on my own team tweeting the Eagles every day saying Kenny Pickett to the Eagles. I got guys on my own team here on the AAT Birds team doing it.
He's not taking Malik Willis. What he is doing is driving up somebody to panic and try to trade up in one of those spots that Howie has and push one of those picks back. That's what he's trying to do.
I hope that
he's not going. He's not. If he listen, like I said the other day, Malik Willis is Jalen Hurts with an online degree. I'm not. he struggles with accuracy. His deep ball is hit or miss. And he's probably, if not the same size, not thick wise, but height wise as Jalen Hurts. Like, what are we doing?
And Jalen Hurts can also squat 600 pounds. So just by the way, just throwing that out there.
Great. And if this was the Olympics, if this was the Olympics, I'd be all for that.
If he was a power lifter, if we was doing CrossFit, hey.
I'd invite him on to your 8:00 show, JD. But the problem is that he's the quarterback of an NFL franchise, and he can't hit an open pass.
Shout out to the way to Philly. What's up, girls?
You know what I mean? Like, but did Jalen Hurts do enough to deserve another year without bringing in his replacement of mediocre quarterbacks? Yeah. Absolutely. Do you trade the farm for an older Russell Westbrook coming off injuries? No, that's a go commando situation. That's what they're gonna do.
First of all, I don't think Russell Westbrook plays football, but
Wilson. Sorry, I'm still in the basketball. I have other things saved in my bookmarks. You know what? Russell Westbrook might have a better arm.
Russell Westbrook is an athlete.
But his accuracy is terrible on his jump shot. So.
That's true. He'll somehow manage to get a triple-double on a football field. But Jalen Hurts needs to be the quarterback of this football team next year. Deshaun Watson, there's too many questions. And again, we did all this again. And we cannot do this every single year. At some point, you got to focus on another position besides quarterback.
Listen,
this team is not a quarterback away.
I'm going to tell you a story, Chip and Prince. When I was a young lad in the old country in South Carolina, my grandma used to tell me all the time, she said, you either got to piss or you got to get off the pot. And that was anytime I was teeter-totter and trying to figure out what I was going to do. You either got to piss or get off the pot. Well, guess what, Philadelphia Eagles? You got to piss or get off the freaking pot. You've been pissing the whole time, so it's time to get out the damn pot. Stick to a guy. Figure out what you're going to do. Don't have the shit look on your face like Prince got right now. Every year, I see the same look at it. Y'all about as bad as the Cowboys. Every year, except they think they're going to win a championship every year. This is our year. How about them Cowboys? Like, no, y'all stink. All right? Figure out what you're going to do. Stick to your guns and develop some talent. Since this is a quarterback factory, develop a talent. Develop a good quarterback like you did with Donovan McNabb. How about that?
He is the best quarterback in franchise history.
McNabb had a cannon and a pretty.
It wasn't always accurate, but he had a cannon.
But he had a pretty deep ball, and he was a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
That's fine, but you haven't had a good quarterback, and God knows when. So you can't keep drafting them and keep missing. Look at this. Look at the 76ers. They keep drafting and missing. And what do you guys keep wanting? Like, you keep wanting all these good draft picks to do what? Shit the bed? Like, get out of here. I want to hear that. Get out of here, Brent.
But it was a process. Remember, Nerlens Noel, Jahlil Okafor, they were just stepping stones to get to Joel Embiid.
Michael Carter-Williams, Tony
Michael Carter-Williams.
Markelle
Fultz.
We had a lot of rookies, not rookies of the year, but we had a lot of, quality rookies that when they actually got a chance to play.
Covington's.
Man, that man has played for every team in the NBA.
He was undrafted.
Either way, he ended up on the Sixers. All that matters.
Trust the process.
I don't know. I look at this whole thing in the NFL, and this is not done. This is definitely not done. But one thing that I need to be done. The NFL Pro Bowl's got to go. I'm not lying. I normally skip it, right? I normally skip it, but I turned it on yesterday for about 2 minutes. Long
must have
enough.
been bored.
I was really bored. I was folding laundry.
Oh, okay.
Long enough to see Patrick Mahomes throw an interception. He tried to hit Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow did the Daria, like with the volleyball net from the old school MTV cartoons, right? Where he just sticks a hand out and I didn't get it. That's what Hunter Renfrow did. And it's picked by Antoine Winfield. And that man, when I say goes untouched, he jogged. He jogged in. The hardest hit that came out of Pro Bowl weekend was Alvin Kamara in the club, and he got arrested for it.
Don't do that.
That was low-hanging fruit. That was low-hanging fruit.
You're a mean man.
I am a mean man. But it's frustrating because I love – this is the chance for these NFL players to really ball out. Do you remember Sean Taylor killing a punter?
And they hated him ever since.
And you know what? But it was football. These guys, it was legitimately two-hand touch yesterday. It was unwatchable.
But Chip, you gotta understand, man. NFL players are already mad at baseball players because them contracts is guaranteed. You can't expect these guys to get hurt in exhibition games like that. I remember old school ESPN, the old skills competitions. I used to love those. What I think they need to do, make it flag football. Make it flag football.
It already basically was.
Put some fans out there. Have some fans that win some contests and like a pros versus Joes. Like shake it up a little bit. Like
they do that for baseball. They do that for basketball.
Yeah,
but like this for me that I got pulled up. I found it interesting that these two are both tweeting this way, right? So the one on the bottom is from Deion Sanders. The Deion Sanders.
We see his name.
Lord help me. I'm watching the NFL Pro Bowl, and I remember when we were so proud and appreciative of the accolade. We went to Hawaii to prove we were more worthy. We competed at practice in the game. I wanted you to know that Prime was okay, fine. Now it's all about, okay, I made the Pro Bowl. I get my bonus. Darius Slay, who I like. I really like, but he goes, I see people upset about the Pro Bowl. I understand, but we are the only sport that don't have an all-star game during. Okay, fine. Some guys have been having a whole month off trying to recover from a long year.
All right, here we go. Can I take this low-hanging fruit, please? Please let me have it.
I get it. Sure, do it.
Please let me have it. All right, first off, number one, this needs to be done. All right, the Pro Bowl is for a bunch of losers, all right? I had an argument with a guy named Terrence Camardi who's on our Dripping Network about the Pro Bowl. First of all, he threw up a bunch of names of Ohio State players who played in the Pro Bowl. Well, guess what? I don't give a shit who played in the Pro Bowl. The only game that I care about that's going on still is the Super Bowl. And in this case, if you got players on your team that are in the Super Bowl, you got good players. That's the Pro Bowl. That's the game that everybody cares about. The NBA All-Star game counts, but they don't play really that hard in the NBA All-Star game either. So I don't watch those shit. I never watch NBA. I'll never watch All-Star games. Guys are just.
I watch NBA Saturday night because it's fun.
That is fun, but I don't watch the actual NBA All-Star game because I think it's BS, and they're not really playing hard. You just, if you bored and you have nothing else to do, you turn it off.
I watch the home run derby for baseball, but I don't watch the All-Star game usually. But there's also nothing that they're playing for. Like if you were like, all right, it's for home field advantage for the playoffs. Fine. Adam's idea. They should have the two worst teams play for the number one pick. Fine.
They'll never do that.
They'll never do it. They'll never make it worth anything. Matt's saying the most entertaining part of it all was the dodgeball game.
That was entertaining. I'm not going to lie.
That's what I'm saying. Focus on the events. Focus on the events and the spectacle of it. The same way, make it a reverse Super Bowl. How the Super Bowl, the spectacles of the Super Bowl is whack. Like, nobody gives a shit about it. But when you get to the actual game, it matters. So they need to reverse it with the All-Star game. Like I said, the skills competition, pros versus Joes, a flag football game. Bring some back the older guys to play. I
love to see Shannon Sharp play.
Right, that can still sling it or run around or do some things, talk some smack. Have it to where, how about this? Have it to where some old school guys are the coaches. Hey, can you imagine Shannon Sharp mic'd up coaching these new school players?
Oh my God. I'd love it.
I'd pay good money for that shit. I pay good money to see him get out
there. They're not playing for anything. They're not doing anything. It's not a game. It's not watchable. They moved it out of Hawaii, so it's not even like that was Hawaii's big claim to fame. It's like, well, we get to host the Pro Bowl every year. Not anymore. Now, I mean,
Honolulu.
the worst thing that they could do is put it in Vegas.
Listen,
The worst thing that they could do.
we saw. Listen, Vegas,
That's where it was this year.
Vegas, bad things happen. See what happened to Henry Ruggs. That's all I'm saying.
See what happened to Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is in some trouble. Now, he won't serve a minute of jail time.
Let me ask you this, JD, because you're the draft guy. You watch a lot of college. Remember when Mike Mayock and Gruden's first year? And let me know if my theory is correct. Remember a lot of those picks, people was like, what in the world? And I immediately thought Mike Mayock was thinking, we're in Vegas. We need some guys that we can trust when the lights are off. So he wasn't getting the blue chipper type.
Nope.
We the party, turnover chain people. He was getting quality men that can play, but they weren't like, oh man, guaranteed like superstar blue chippers. Am I off by saying that?
No. Check this out.
Now you're dead on, man.
He even went the route of going to get homely guys like Cleveland Farrell from Clemson, Hunter Renfrow from Clemson. These guys weren't the blue chip players on our team. They were good guys on our team, but they weren't our could you imagine Deshaun Watson in fucking Las Vegas?
I mean, he's already struggling in Houston.
He would have been
It's free to get what he was getting in Houston.
bro. In Las Vegas, he'd be under the jail. Like they'd have video of him doing this stuff. Like, listen, bro. Like, you ever heard of saying that God knows who he can give what to, what type of stuff? That's Mayock. I know everybody think he was a dirtbag, but he knew something that everybody else didn't know. You cannot put impressionable guys in Sin City. It's called
with millions and millions of dollars of new money.
Oh my God. Listen, Henry Ruggs is not. It's sad what happened to Henry Ruggs.
It's very sad.
But Henry Ruggs is a cautionary tale for young athletes going to Las Vegas. If you don't have a hold of your alcoholism and you're wilding out, you cannot handle Las Vegas. Dude, there's a reason why it's a destination. You just go and go back home. Like, you can't.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's the quote of the damn city.
Bro, it's the porn capital of the world. It's the gambling capital of the world. It's just the sin capital of the world. You have to know who you are before you go to Las Vegas.
If anybody is a good redemption story for Vegas, it is Waller. I can say that.
Yeah,
it's definitely Waller.
And Crosby too, because Crosby got clean even though he was in Las Vegas. So shout out to Crosby, man. That's a great story if you guys don't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have no issue with Vegas as far as putting a franchise there. I mean, Oakland was kind of iconic of it all, but like Vegas is a big money spot. The problem is, like you guys are both saying, it's not for everybody. And you put the Pro Bowl there. So you put literally the most swag-tastic gentleman in the NFL in that city. Of course, Vegas something like this was going to happen.
Vegas is just too transient to me to have a fan base. It's like Atlanta with casinos. It's like you got every block you'll have like 45 different people wearing 45 different jerseys, 45 different teams. You like it's just, but it's legally Vegas prints money, so I can understand why it was there.
And on top of it, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with the Vegas situation. If you look at Vegas as a whole, there's the Strip, and that's what they're known for. And then people live out in the outskirts of Las Vegas, like Reno and all that stuff. But people don't really realize that city never sleeps. Even in like a place like Philadelphia or New York, or
you go to bed.
LA, it eventually goes to bed. Things shut down. Even in the stripper capital of the world, Atlanta or Houston, like people go to sleep. It does not sleep in Las Vegas. Like you could be up for 24 to 48, 72, whatever, how many hours. You can just be up doing stuff. Like this is a devil's playground. And that's why a lot of these young guys, they go there and they destroy their lives forever. It really is. It's sad, but just don't put the Pro Bowl there no more. Like, I'm sorry.
Just don't do they got to fix the Pro Bowl. All right. real quick shenanigans because we've been getting into some things, but we do have to have a little bit of fun. We do a shenanigans section. I have a couple of things for you fine gentlemen tonight. All right, real quick. So first off is a little bit of an Eagles-centric question. So, JD, you can have an opinion, but you may have to play
Devil's advocate. I love it. Or
Yeah.
a
All
jury.
right. Choose a pill. Okay? So your choices are the blue pill is you trade Carson Wentz after Super Bowl 52, so you keep Nick Foles. The green pill is you trade for Amari Cooper instead of Golden Tate. The yellow pill is you draft DK Metcalf instead of J-Jaw. Or the purple pill is you draft Justin Jefferson over Jalen Reagor. This is tough.
No, it's not. I got my answer.
All right, well then you go first, and then we'll play Eagles fans homer style.
It's easy day. Easy day. Draft Justin Jefferson over Jalen Reagor.
Okay, why?
Because what you guys were in at that time was you were trying to build your receiving core. With a guy like Justin Jefferson, you don't have to spend 2 more drafts going to get Devontae Smith. You don't have to spend those drafts doing that. And then just say if you want to go get Devontae Smith, now you got Devontae Smith and Justin Jefferson, and not Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and Jalen Reagor, J-Jaw, and like 50 other dudes that may not be able to do shit with the football.
Prince is like furiously shaking his head. Go ahead.
I love it.
Go ahead, Prince.
Let's go, Prince.
Immediately as soon as I saw it, I don't even think twice. I would have traded for Amari Cooper instead of Golden Tate. You know why? Because that pass to Alshon Jeffrey would have probably went to Amari Cooper. It wouldn't have bounced off his hands, and the Eagles would have got a second Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind. The Eagles beat the Saints. They win that Super Bowl. They win that next Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind.
All right.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
I think for me, I think the blue one you kind of have to go away with because look, Carson Wentz was the guy when he was healthy. Yeah, in hindsight, yeah, we should have kept Nick Foles, but I don't think that that's reasonable at that point. So then we just talking straight wide receivers. I think both the yellow and the purple are tough to say because, look, J-Jaw and Jalen Reagor have both been colossal disappointments. But we didn't have a set quarterback throwing either of those guys the ball. So Justin Jefferson doesn't put up the numbers that he did
Kirk
in
Cousins.
Minnesota.
He has Kirk
What's
Cousins.
that?
Come on. He has Kirk Cousins. It's not like he's doing a lot better.
But again, it's still a consistent quarterback play. Kirk Cousins doesn't miss games. So it was
he's just the biggest robber.
Carson Wentz, and then it was Nick Foles, and then it was, McCown for a game, and then it was Jalen Hurts, and it was Sudfeld for a half. Justin Jefferson doesn't put those numbers up if he's in Philadelphia. Just like Devontae Smith did not put up big numbers this year.
He did all right.
I think I got to go with Green because of where they were when the trade happened.
Isn't that still with Carson Wentz?
It is still with Carson Wentz.
He got hurt.
But then Nick Foles comes in.
So basically, you should have traded Carson Wentz because that makes that blue pill seem a lot better than.
It does, but again, if you don't trade Carson Wentz, he still takes you as far as he does in the regular season. Nick Foles comes in and he throws it to a number 1 receiver instead of a number 1 bum.
Damn. I don't think I was a bum.
No, I'm talking. I was saying Golden Tate. I think Golden Tate's.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a trash dumpster fire. Alshon next to Amari Cooper is something I would have seen. I would have enjoyed that.
Ooh, peanut butter and jelly, baby.
All right, hold on. I
I
got one more little shenanigan. It's a mini shenanigan.
Okay.
It's a mini shenanigan, but it's still the football realm.
I don't.
So here you go. You got to pick your team.
You always do this to me.
I always do this. So,
is that Ray Caruth?
who's that? Where? Give me which team?
That's Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. Oh my God.
I thought it was Ray Caruth. My bad.
With an all-order team.
Oh, you're a jerk. You're a jerk for that, bro. You're going down for that, dude.
And you have to pay attention to which team they're on. Like Adrian Peterson, Vikings, Adrian Peterson. LT, Chargers, LT.
I got you.
We see what you got going.
I already know where I'm going, and it's not even close.
It's not even close where I'm at too.
So I remember a lot of the comments as I saw this post, and many people said that it wasn't even close. So, Prince, where are you going?
Come on, man. I'm going with Team 2 all day.
So you're going with Brady, Gurley, Calvin, Deshaun, and Gronk.
You gotta
know
be
why?
shitting me, cuz.
You know,
Matt agrees, by the way. Matt agrees. Tell me why.
7 of them
Ain't
things.
nothing. Sorry.
7 of them things. Everybody else got all the talent in the world. 1, 2, 0. I'm going from top. 1 championship, 7, 0, 2.
You gotta be smoking something. Y'all gotta be smoking crack, man.
I'm talking about a pure team from top to bottom.
Bro, I'm looking at a team. I'm looking at some. Matter of fact, can I go ahead and play mine?
Go ahead, JD. Who you taking?
It's Team 1. Are you guys on crack cocaine?
Team 1. Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. First off,
nothing but
Devontae Adams is doing numbers with a team that's really a school of deaf and blind. The Green Bay Packers are trash.
They're not good, yeah.
They're trash can juice. Tyreek Hill is still a beast, and he's going to be throwing the ball by Patrick Mahomes. And then if you need to run the ball, you got one of the most dominant running backs ever pick up a damn football in history. The dude cannot be stopped. He stiff-armed a guy to next week last time I see.
Family Dollar Earl Campbell. Next.
But stop that. Stop that right now. Stop that right now. Stop that right now.
Adam is saying Team 3, which is Vic, Peterson, Ocho Cinco, Steve Smith, and Larry Fitzgerald.
I bet you Adam still plays Madden, don't he?
I still play Madden. Not often. I'm more of a 2K guy. But here's my issue. Vic is never been really the accurate passer.
Yeah.
So having those superstar wide receivers, ready for this? I'm going to go Team 4.
Goodbye.
Wow.
I'm going Team 4.
I'm willing to listen to that one.
Which is, again, for those listening to the audio version, which is Peyton Manning, LaDainian Tomlinson, T.O., Randy Moss, and Tony Gonzalez. All right, here's why. I'm going to go right to left. Tony Gonzalez is the greatest tight end to play the game.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp, I thought was, but that's fine.
No. Tony Gonzalez is far more athletic than Shannon Sharp ever was. Shannon Sharp was one of the most physical tight ends, but Tony Gonzalez's freak athleticism was ridiculous. You're just saying that because Chiefs versus the Steelers there, friend.
Keep going.
So what?
Keep going, and I'm going to crush your argument, Chip. Go ahead.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Randy Moss is in the top 3, I'll say top 5 for certain. Top 5 wide receivers to ever play the game.
Okay.
T.O., definite top 7, top 10.
No, he's top 5. No, he's top 3.
I think if T.O. had ever played with a consistent quarterback, he'd be up there.
He
still put up those numbers, so he's top 3.
True. Okay. So there you go. Top 3, top 5, top 1. LT is one of the top rushing yardage-wise. He wasn't ever a power back, but again, receiving back. And then you've got Peyton Manning, the most accurate quarterback in NFL history. He may not have won the big game as often, but you give him all of these weapons, he's going to hit them.
You want to go first, JD, or you want me to go first?
I'm out of the part with 2 words. Well, not in 2 words, but 2 comments.
Well, one of them is definitely Matt's. One of them is definitely Matt's. You can't put T.O. and Randy Moss on the same team.
That's exactly what it was. That was the exact comment.
No.
Matt's dead on right.
Listen, T.O. and Randy Moss will be in a fight the first week of practice training camp. They be racing each other after practice. They be talking about how big whatever it was. That's what they would do. And then the second part of it is, who's gonna run the damn ball? Because LaDainian Tomlinson is a damn running back. He's a slot receiver.
But you don't have to. Peyton Manning threw the ball 50, 60 times per game.
Boy,
No, he was. I'm
he's
dead
one of
ass.
the most prolific all-purpose backs that ever played the game.
True.
1,000
So he's
yards
a better running back than
receiving,
Adrian
1,000
Peterson?
rushing.
No, he's
Yes!
not a better running. He's not a
outta
better
here, bro.
running back.
Stop
Running
it.
back? No. But as an all-purpose back,
I
do
didn't
it all.
say an
LaDainian
all-purpose
Tomlinson?
back. I said a running back. I don't give a shit about catching the ball.
First of all,
That's a slot receiver.
we getting something. You know why that team on the bottom won't even work out? Peyton Manning, for all his accuracy, he has two of the most prolific deep ball catches in the NFL. Are they going to wait for them throws? No. Again, that's why I'm going Tom Brady. Peyton Manning didn't have the best arm strength far as arm talent. You giving him two of the most prolific. As soon as it's underthrown or not where it needs to be or not over the top, they're gonna squeeze the hell out of Peyton Manning's neck until his head busts.
And he had a very long neck, so they would have had a lot of big target there.
Why I'm going with Team 2, those same reasons why you said T.O. and Randy will be at each other's neck, none of those people on Team 2 are going to disrespect Tom Brady. He's going to command that locker room, and he's going to get more out of those guys than Peyton Manning's going to get out of these ego guys down
Deshaun
here.
Jackson is a spark plug too, though. It don't act like Deshaun Jackson ain't gonna speak his mind. He gonna speak his mind.
He gonna speak his mind, and he could crip walk and do all that crazy shit. But the GOAT is running that locker room. The GOAT is running that locker room.
I'm gonna still go with one. I don't care what y'all say.
He got set. You go ahead with one. None of them. It's a total combined ring of one up there.
Hey, listen, rings don't always mean everything. Y'all need to realize.
Oh my!
I mean, they mean a lot. They mean a lot.
The one guy that y'all keep talking about is Tom Brady got 7. The rest of them ain't got. Well, him and Gronk count for most of them that they got together. The rest of them don't got none.
Mm-hmm.
So where are the other rings outside the quarterback? Because I don't see no ring. Oh, Randy Moss got one.
No, he don't.
Yes, he does.
He won with.
He didn't win one with the Patriots.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did. He lost that one. He lost to the Giants.
Check the stats.
He retired with none.
Check the stats.
That
makes my argument even better.
He played in 2 Super Bowl games, one with the Patriots, one with the 49ers, both losses.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, this is gonna be great. So I just want to let you guys know that in the argument you guys are making is that there's rings in there, but the only rings come from the quarterback.
That's all that matters. The general, the most important position in the sports. Besides that, and the person that makes sure the pole vault is steady. Other than that,
I just want to point out that this was supposed to be the shenanigans section, and we
turned it into something real.
My God,
we sportsmen.
That's what I'm saying.
When Prince be trying to railroad people, man. He trying to bogart, bro.
I should have put a candy bar thing out there again.
And then I will argue that
Kit Kats
got 7 of them things.
Kit Kats
Snickers got 7 of them things.
Kit Kats and Twix.
Disrespected by a payday. That's
Kit Kats and Twix.
Right or left
Twix? Trash.
I'm left-handed. I'm left-handed, bro. You know I'm going left Twix.
What about you?
I'm gonna go peanut butter Twix. I don't even like regular Twix.
That's just doing too much. You doing too much.
Why are you trying to kill me? Bro, you ain't a friend.
I'm gonna give you a hug and blow all of your face out.
I gotta eat it. Only way. Hard to be effective.
Pause. Chill, yo. Chill.
On that note,
you nasty, bro.
I gotta eat it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get that on a t-shirt. Listen, we've been doing this for an hour and a half. Once again, somehow this show just carried over, man. Like I love it. I don't even notice the time until I'm like, all right, we probably should wrap stuff up. Wait, JD, I apologize. You had a trivia question.
I did.
Yeah.
We can end it on this.
All right, the answer is still Michael Jordan, but go ahead.
So we've had this conversation about, we're talking about Maury and talking about big shots and having big names and all this. Well, guys, who do you guys think has hit more game winners? Robert Ory, Dame Lillard, or Stephen Curry? That's a question for you.
I said Robert Ory. You already told me I was wrong. So
Yeah, I think it's going to be Dame.
Nope.
he shook his head. So it's Steph.
It's Stephen Curry. They're not in the amount of Robert Ory. Robert Ory has hit more game-winning shots in playoff games, but he hasn't hit more game-winning shots because a lot of the times Robert Ory didn't play a whole lot during the regular season. If you guys remember, he was a role player a lot.
He would just come in ice cold.
Exactly, he come in ice cold. Top five and he have 2 minutes and 3 points, but they be the most important 3 points of the whole game.
That's true. That is true.
Everywhere he's gone, he hit game-winning shots. He hit them in Houston. He hit them in the Lakers. He hit them for San Antonio. Everywhere he went.
Yeah, Big Shot Bob.
Big Shot Bob. But Big Shot Bob is not the answer to this trivia question. It's Steph Curry with 17.
I don't know. It's still Michael Jordan to me.
Why are you such a baby?
I don't know. But again, we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank, look, JD and I do this every single week. We appreciate you. But Prince, man, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. Tonight was fun. We had a great time. We talked some smack. We got into some things. Matt thinks that the answer to the trivia question was Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Jerk.
So you know all the sponsors. If you're interested, they're at the top of the list. We'll play out the commercial up in a minute because, of course, your balls will thank you. One more time for the road. Big week of programming tomorrow night for AAT Sports Network. We have Jeremy Bridges. He's doing his NFL awards. Wednesday, we're talking to Trey Thomas. The Trey Thomas. We're opening up the Eagles vault again. So we're going to talk to the best left tackle in Eagles history. Prince gave me them eyes.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Birds, Beers, and BS is on Friday, and we got Super Bowl Sunday, so we're going to be talking about that. What is happening on the D Drippy Network, JD?
Prince has a show tomorrow. It's going to be love. He's got another good show coming on tomorrow. Don't miss it. Man, plug your own show, man. I'm not doing it for you.
I got a show coming on tomorrow. It's gonna be love. I got Real Time Prince Blue tomorrow. I got the homie main event, the OG of Rage Philly Sports Talk. He was doing this before anybody else was doing it. I got him coming on. As always, great shows when we come on. We're going to talk about rec centers in Philadelphia. We're going to talk about 97.5 Fanatic and that I Hate Steven Singer misguided black coach joke. And we're going to also talk about, of course, Batman versus Iron Man and whatever else we want to get into. Just make sure you tune in. Shout out to Drippy Network, man, for giving me a platform, man, and making it so easy for me, man, because y'all, JD will tell you I don't know nothing about graphics and nothing about nothing. I just be talking, but he be taking care of me. What is wrong with you? That's my dog, y'all.
He ready to go to bed. He's like, yo,
he tired. What is it?
He said, it's time to go to bed, man.
Well, listen, so Prince has got to go to bed. Pup's got to go to bed. I got to go to bed. I got to teach Mikey in the morning. Mikey's my student. Mikey chimes in. Mikey said some potty words in the comment section. I'm not going to tell nobody.
I'm
Chip.
Wow.
I'm Drip. That's Drip. Prince will be out of here. And Mikey, sign off because here's the commercial that you're not supposed to hear. Bye, y'all.
Red.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for this special occasion. This V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code AATBirds for 20% off and free shipping. The holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job? The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is just the thing every guy needs in their life to make each and every day just a little more special. The number one product in this package is the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin, And get this, the trimmer's advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. It even has a 4000K LED spotlight so you can shave anywhere your heart desires. Did I mention that it's waterproof too? I'd like to propose making February 13th a national holiday as National Shave Your Balls Day. Who's with me? I think this is one holiday that men and women can get behind. This package also includes the Weed Whacker, nose and ear hair trimmer to whack all the worst of your weeds. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts, their Shed Travel Bag and Anti-Chafing Boxer Brief to keep your boys stored comfortably. To complete the perfect package for your package are liquid formulations like Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Start your day off with a deodorant for your boys, and then stay cool all day with toner to keep you feeling your best all day and night. These formulations will also have your balls smelling like a king on the big day. And don't forget to smell good not only around your balls but all over. Made with their signature scent, the Manscaped Refined Cologne will complement your collection with smell perfection. Manscaped created their products for a night just like this and will make your V-Day date say, wow, great set of balls you have there. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code AATBirds. Join Cupid and shoot your arrow with Manscaped this Valentine's Day. Your balls and lady will thank you.